Cardano right now reminds me of Ethereum way back in the very early days of crypto. Right now, Cardano does represent a bit of a coiled spring ahead of a big push to the upside. In this video, I'm going to go into why I think Cardano is so incredibly undervalued right now, and why this could be a fantastic opportunity to adopt Cardano and to get a bigger position ahead of where things are likely to go in Q4. Guys, as we get into this video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then do go ahead and subscribe. Tap that bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With this said, done out of the way, let's dive down into the charts and some web pages to see exactly what is going on with Cardano and why I feel this particular altcoin is so undervalued right now. As you can see here, this is our weekly chart for Cardano. We are paired up with USDT, and we are using Binance as the data source. Now, as we can see here, this is 5 huge impulse waves for Cardano. So far, these have been playing out quite nicely, and the structure is very much intact, including the 5th wave where we are right now. Ultimately, we have seen from the lows of March 2020 through to the highs that we had achieved up in May of 2021, a 14,000% move for Cardano. Some pretty good gains have been made. To put that into context, guys, we have got Bitcoin here only moving 1,600% for the same time period. And of course, when comparing Cardano to Ethereum, Ethereum has only moved 5,100% for the exact same time period of 427 days. So for Cardano's 427-day move, a 14,000% move is nearly 3 times that of Ethereum. So definitely the better investment. Now, obviously, talking about where both Ethereum is likely to go next and where Cardano is likely to go next, I do anticipate that Cardano is going to be one of the better performers. Overall, we have so much fantastic things going on in the space for Cardano and some fantastic kind of progress to come and talk about. So the first thing we want to obviously acknowledge is there are, of course, over 100 companies looking to shift from Ethereum to the Cardano ecosystem. This is going to completely disrupt the entire space, where you start to see businesses who have been unfortunate enough to have to endure paying ridiculously high gas fees on the Ethereum ecosystem now having the opportunity to migrate over to a different ecosystem altogether, one that is faster, more secure, and more scalable than that of Ethereum. And of course, there are going to be businesses that were willing to wait for Ethereum 2.0, but there are many in the space who pay far too much in gas fees, millions upon millions of dollars that could be better well utilized for their business or for their customers. So it's important that we acknowledge that it is going to be a shift between Ethereum and Cardano, and of course, many other smart contract platforms. So this is something that I think is often overlooked, but we are expecting some pretty good moves to occur once we actually start to get some of these projects actually migrated over from Ethereum to Cardano. And I think this is really going to compound the transactional volume that we're going to start seeing with the Cardano ecosystem as a whole. The other thing that we want to talk about is everything that's been going on with Africa. Obviously, Charles Hoskinson, I think, is doing a tour over on Africa at the moment, the continent of Africa. And there is, of course, some summits and some blockchain exhibitions as well going over in Africa right now, and I do anticipate that there are going to be some interesting things that come out of there as well. Overall, Africa is definitely pioneering the blockchain technology, and Cardano having an office over there, along with Singularity Net, is going to be a huge driver for blockchain adoption on the continent. Overall, we already have deals in Ethiopia, and I do expect a few more to occur in the very near future as well. This is going to see a huge amount of users actually on board onto the ecosystem, and with that will come millions of transactions. Okay, so that's going to have a huge, again, compounding effect when it comes to the transactions and the use case when it comes to ADA. Again, we go a little bit further, and we most recently have got this announcement and partnership with Dish. Now, Dish is an absolute behemoth of a company, the Fortune 250 company with over $15.4 billion in revenue generated in 2020 alone. They own people like Boost Mobile, and Boost Mobile will be adopting the Cardano ecosystem to onboard over 8 million users to create digital identifications. Again, that transactional volume, 8 million from Boost Mobile and this partnership with Dish, 5 million from the students and teachers over in Ethiopia. Together, you're talking 13 million people onboarded onto the Cardano ecosystem. This is going to be absolutely huge because, again, every interaction with the blockchain will require a transaction. The transaction will require ADA, and ADA will be in high demand. As we continue, we can also talk about the partnership with Chainlink for the DeFi to bring to the smart contracts. This is basically all about real-world data on chain, okay? And Chainlink is definitely one of those front winners when it comes to being able to provide these oracles. They're not the only project out there, and we also see Cardano working with another key player, API3, for this exact same purpose. I do anticipate this partnership with Chainlink is going to be absolutely massive for the smart contract functionality, and something that we're going to be much needed for some of these dApps being built on the Cardano ecosystem. So another fantastic partnership that came out of the Cardano Summit 2021. But with all of this adoption comes one final piece to the puzzle, and that's going to be the scalability. Of course, Cardano has scalability built directly into it. This is the Hydra protocol, and this basically will allow 1,000 transactions per second per validator to actually give you that throughput and that scalability that's very much required. As a result of this, with nearly 1 million validators, and each one of those validators being able to do 1,000 transactions per second, you can see that this is a blockchain that is designed for mass adoption. With all of that being said, it brings us back nicely to the charts. There's so many fantastic things that are going on in the space, it's really hard not to ignore them. With so many companies looking to migrate over from Ethereum to Cardano, with new partnerships with Dish, Boost Mobile, everything that's going on in Africa, Chainlink, and of course the scalability solution of Hydra, it's hard to think that this coiled spring that we are in right now is not going to explode to the upside. Right now, we are at a key point in time where we can see our stochastic lowering down nicely on this weekly chart, and we have got some pretty good juicy targets ahead of where we do think things are likely to go. As we've been speaking about previously, there is a cup and handle, a bit sloppy, but does target $4.45. I did actually have this anticipated for the month of October, but this coiling could actually see it go into November a little bit. But ultimately, this cup and handle, if it does come through, would be a $4.45 target associated with it. Now, cup and handles are only about 60 to 70% accurate, so it's important that we do obviously take these with a pinch of salt. That being said, though, we do have a pretty good target of $7.22 on the fib 4.236, and of course $10 as a bit of an overstretch to that, with backed on with the transactional volume. So as soon as we start seeing an increase with the transactional volume in the same way that we saw with Polygon's Matic, we could see a huge spike with price appreciation of ADA. And like many people in the space, they like to consider market capitalization. Now, market capitalization is not actually a barrier to price discovery. What market cap is, in fact, is a very simple calculation of the last sold price multiplied by the circulating supply. It only really represents the very last sold price, right? And actually doesn't take into consideration many key factors in the crypto space. So it's not a barrier to entry. It's not the amount of money that's gone into a project. It is nothing more than a price calculation. And it isn't much use when it comes to price discovery. In fact, there are only two things that are really required. One, we need to have a squeeze on the supply. Fortunately enough for ADA holders, 70% of the supply is actually staked and delegated. As I said, there are close to 1 million validators, and you can delegate your ADA to one of the pools. In fact, we even run a validator on the channel, so if you do want to delegate to our pool, go and check out the ticker Cheek and delegate your ADA to the Cheeky pool, which will be fantastic. We'd love to have you there minting blocks with us. That being said, you can delegate to any ADA pool and you'll earn a nice passive income, and you'll earn more ADA on your ADA holdings. This is something that many people obviously have taken advantage of, with over 70% of the supply actually staked and delegated. What does that mean? Well, it means that there's a squeeze on the supply. That circulating number that you see in CoinMarketCap is actually only 30% of it actually out there. That could be in exchanges, on wallets that are not actually delegating or staking, or just people owning it on an exchange full stop, or on an external wallet like Ledger or something like that, just completely, out there, but not actually delegated. And as a result of that, all we need to see is some transactional volume, some demand coming in here to actually push this needle significantly to the upside. That squeeze on the supply is absolutely huge. And of course, it will only take a small amount of money to move that needle to the upside overall. Again, for people who want to reference market capitalization, $10 would put Cardano at about a $320 billion market cap. That is less than Ethereum right now. So obviously it is something that is very much possible, even if you were to use the very basic calculation that is market cap. I wouldn't recommend that though, because it isn't anything that you can use from a price appreciation perspective. With that being said, though, I'm not a financial advisor, nor is Chris, so it's important that you do your own research and come to your own conclusions. I'm going to jump down now to our daily chart. And on this daily chart, we're going to talk about what's been going on most recently and why I do think we are in a pretty good position to accumulate some ADA here. Now, as we can see, most recently, we started to have a bit of a push back above our 786. Now, we are in the overbought area. I think we're likely to stay up here for a little bit longer. If we can just get some traction in here and actually turn the 786 into a support line, that'll allow us then to target our downward trend line. Okay, and this trend line, if I just bring it into shot here, goes all the way back to the original peak right over here. Now, this actually allows us then to see the downward trend where we're looking to break that trend overall. Now, if we can get above that 786 and stay above it, we can see there is a triangular wedge here that could see us with a huge break to the upside overall. And again, if I actually come back to our daily view for a second, we actually have that very sloppy but cup and handle that targets $4.45. Let me see if I can draw that a little bit neater for you guys, because it is kind of angled a little bit. So basically, we go from the top of wave 3, and we come down, we come up to the all-time high, we pull back for the handle, and then we target $4.45. Now, that particular cup and handle, it's very sloppy, and obviously is only 60 to 70% accurate, but it does put us in a nice target just up here at $4.45, just short of our 2.618. Obviously, there are a couple of areas of resistance on that journey to the upside that we have to be aware of, but this is something that I do think we are really coiling up for. We can see all of that fantastic news and everything that's going on in the background for Cardano. And as soon as we have that functionality and smart contracts and everything that's working there with those projects actually launching, we're going to start seeing some transactional volume. And it's not going to be a small amount either. We're going to see a huge push with the Cardano price appreciation of ADA, and we are going to smash through a lot of these targets on that journey to the upside. Overall, I'm incredibly bullish on Cardano, and I do think this is something that has long-term prospects to it. And I do think that it's important that we do lock in profits during this bull run, and we accumulate heavily during the bear market, where we can build up a fantastic position in ADA ahead of the 2025 bull run, where the price appreciation would come in at roughly around that $32 level. Now, again, this is something that I do think is very likely to occur, as the price appreciation of ADA will be very significant by 2025. Obviously, this is only based on the partnerships and things that we know of right today, or what's happening right now with Cardano today. Obviously, in the next 4 years, there could be a significant amount more of adoption, more governments wanting to partner up with Cardano's ecosystem and to utilize it with many different DeFi applications. This could have a profound effect on Cardano that could send it way above my price expectations for 2025 as of today. Therefore, for me personally, I am building up a very good position with Cardano. I'm getting it delegated to the cheeky pool and making sure that I have a good exposure to a good passive income on ADA as well. Guys, I'm going to leave the video there, but for me right now, I do anticipate Cardano performing incredibly well in this bull run. I do think it is incredibly undervalued right now at being held down at the 786, $2.15 being the support level. This is a key area for us. Obviously, staying above that 786 is really important, but above and beyond that, we are getting becoming a coiled spring ahead of the big push to the upside, where we could see $10 ADA come in by the peak of this bull run. Guys, if you have found this video useful and informative, hit that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe? Tap that bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with absolutely everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.